Gotta cut you down.
Sam Damewood is our guest.
Go tell that long-tongued liar.
Good to have you with us today. Do you want to comment on what I said as we went into break about similar tyrannies today, or do you just want to move forward into 1775?
Yes, Alex. Obviously, in response to that government oppression, the colonists felt a need to prepare. And they prepared in many ways. They developed their own information networks with the committees of correspondence, and they paid attention to what was going on with the government. They created several organizations. There were 7 or 8 in Boston alone. And it's remarkable that of all of those lists, of the main ones, there were only 2 people that were on more than 3 of those lists of organizations. One of them was Paul Revere, who we all know from his famous Ride, which the poets have sort of misrepresented to us, but in their preparation, they had decided they needed to arm. And they had maintained stocks of arms all throughout the colony. Lexington and Concord had them. And the very first action that was taken by the British government was something called the powder alarms in our history, where the British went and attempted to remove the stocks of gunpowder from the colonists. The colonists took this as a signal that the government was taking action against them, and they stepped up their training and organization. Now, there had always been a militia in the colony. People needed to band together to protect themselves, first from the depredations of Indians and criminals, and from the French during the French and Indian War. But the militia, as many people know it, is an incorrect picture. It's a body of many kinds of citizens, but not Minutemen, like we all like to think of. There were, in fact, Minutemen, and the colony of Massachusetts had agreed that they should field some companies of Minutemen, who were a quick response force. But there were 2 other bands that were very important in this entire process. One of them was called the Alarm Band. And the Alarm Band were the people that sounded the alarm when danger was detected. Paul Revere was one of the people that passed that information to them. And we think of Paul Revere running off alone to tell the world, but there were actually a whole group of supporters that helped him in this endeavor. We had spies in the British Army keeping track of them. And it was through one of those spies that we learned that the British were going to be coming up to Lexington and Concord to seize weapons.
And they routinely would they would hang those spies. This was also very, very dangerous.
Yes, it was. What was unusual in this, and like most spies, it's hard to tell who they really are, but it appears that the spy in the enemy camp for us on April 18th was a woman named Margaret Kemble Gage, who was the wife of the British General Gage, the commander in Boston. She was a good American lady from New York and had trouble with divided loyalties. She wanted America to succeed and prosper on its own without British intervention. And as far as we know, she's the person that told us that they were coming. So the word went out through several people. It took 3 people to get those lanterns up in the Old North Church to give the signal. And Revere, Dawes, and several others went on their way to go out and pass the word that the regulars were coming. They didn't ride up and down the road yelling, "The British are coming." And that's very important because they didn't think of the British as separate people. They thought of themselves as loyal British citizens.
Yeah, they didn't say the redcoats are coming. They said the British were coming, and they were telling the government to treat them the same as British citizens or subjects as they had been. They weren't being treated like that.
Right. They said the regulars were coming because they all considered themselves to be British citizens. In any case, Revere and the others went about their alarm to pass the word to everyone. And Revere's initial mission was to get to Lexington and pass the word because it was thought that the British were trying to capture John Hancock and John Adams. And that wasn't actually the case. They were going for the guns in Concord, but Revere went to Lexington, passed the word to Hancock and Adams so they could get out, because it was thought that they were targeted. They were the only rebels in Massachusetts who had not been offered amnesty.
We'll be right back. Stay there. Quick break, long segment coming up.